Going on, guys? Welcome. Saturday live stream time. How you guys happening? What's happening? Twitchster, I see the Scafer, the Rolo6969. What is happening? Happy Saturday, Twitchsters, and howdy coming into the Tubester. We do have the Pirate in the house, Squirrel Master, Frogman, the Pirate here, Mike Vega, the Pirate again, Squirrel Master. What do we got? We're scrolling through. Grey Wolf, Black Hat team. What is going down? Clear a frog out of my throat there, kinda. The Pioneer says, in other news, my single 9950X makes more than my 6x6600 XTs on solar. One CPU, guys, versus 6 GPUs, and the GPUs are losing. You know, it makes sense. You know, CPUs are freaking awesome. Anyway, son of a rabbit panda, what is happening? Frogman, Dwayne the Miner, Ogre MGTOW, Ace K, Easy Admin. What do we got? Oh, it just jumped on me already. Not too many people around today. A little on the slow side. What's going on? Where's everyone at? Red Jasper Kane. We got Tadas Belinda. Phantom Soul. Love the intro. What's up? Thanks. Awesome. DJ Mines in the house. Easy admin. Grey Wolf. What's going down? What is that? Wizard 74. We got a wizard in the house, guys. So maybe he can whip up some altcoin magic. Maybe. Possibly. Stevo Crypto, J-Rod D, Easy Admin, Frogman, and Z Pirates again. What's happening? So, what are you guys doing? What's happening? What are you guys feeling with everything that's been kind of, well, it kind of sucks because the same thing kind of happened last weekend where it was looking good. You know, the markets were green, things are awesome, and then live stream day comes and everything's red. And that's pretty much the same thing going on again. We're back to being red again. Bitcoin's down, but look at our price. We're sitting at 96 now, 96.1. There's a lot of multiple articles out there dictating May is the month where things are going to happen. We're already seeing people, you taking profits, get ready. May is the time to take profits, yada, 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 whatever. But, you know, we got to wait for them to hit levels. So, you know, are we going to see some massive run this month? I freaking hope so. But remember, who knows how long it's going to last. So when did the tariffs get paused? It was last month, I believe, right? Paused for 3 months. So we do have, I guess, this month, next month, and then tariffs talks will talk again. So whatever, we're in May, June. So I guess July is when we'll start seeing the crashes happen again, which is about right on schedule. Well, let's just have a look at some BTC stuff here. Open up, change the view, go to all. Take a little peek-see back. We're going to take a strip down memory lane, you know, a little trip here. So let's just take a look. Yeah, right about here. So this is where we're sitting right now. This is May, and it'll take a little peek here. So obviously, where are we here? This is December. Solid gains. Yeah, but 23 to, yeah, we're nowhere near the gains that, like, I think we should be way high. Oh, it's hard to say, actually. But anyway, coming into, we got the fifth month here, and then here's tariffs talk. Yeah. So yeah, around the 6th month, bam, we're down. And it, you know, it dipped here also, you know, coming into next month, down into here before we finally saw the end of the year final all-time high here, you know, the double wave kind of what happened here. So right in here is, you know, coming into, you know, July, August type of situation. And, you know, it's going to drop. And this is where tariffs are supposed to kick in again. So it's kind of weird. Obviously, different things are happening, but it's almost looking like the timeline is fitting exactly the same, which is weird because it actually started pumping a month earlier. So a lot of people were thinking, you know, everything's going to be a month earlier, meaning that instead of being a November all-time high for Bitcoin, most likely it'll be an October all-time high before it starts going down back into that, you know, that full-fledged bear run. But no, maybe it's back right on time. Maybe these tariffs, you know, kind of gave it a jolt. But the thing is, for altcoins, when are they going to start running? We need the altcoins to start doing their thing because that's all we mine. And without altcoins, we're done for. You know, we're all going to be bankrupt and broke. It's going to suck. Now, mining profitability, that's another major one. You know, everything's going up, but where's our mining profits? Well, you know, we've been talking about this for a good over a year now, and, you know, these coins are going to hit all-time highs, and guess what? Your mining profits are still going to suck, and they may even still be in the negatives, even at all-time highs on, you know, Raven coin and other coins, because that's the worst time to mine. The worst time to mine cryptocurrencies is when they are freaking peaking, because that's when everyone else thinks it's the best time to mine, to turn on, and all the hash rate is going to swing over to whatever coin is pumping. So in that case, your yields are going to drop to absolute zero, meaning you're hardly getting any coins, even though the coin's at an all-time high. So you're going to have to already have your bags. If you wanted to make any money, you should have been mining these coins 2 years ago through the bear market, not right now type of thing. So there are still strategies to take a look at. Obviously, when coins start pumping, hash rate has to come from somewhere. So what you got to do here is, obviously, let's just jump into something. Let's go into here. Let's just find some coins. We need GPU coins, not all these ASIC stuff here. ASIC, oh my gosh, everything's ASIC these days. All right, so yeah, we're also running out of coin choices to mine because everything's moving to ASICs as well. But anyway, example, wow, Raven coin's down 12% now in the 7 days. That's bad. But, you know, we're going to go for an example here. Say, you know, Raven coin starts to just rocket out of nowhere doing its thing. Let's bring that up. What was its previous all-time high? What's Raven? You're dying on us. Why? Why are you dying on us? So Raven coin, 22 cents. And now it's at 1 cent. Wow, we have like a 20x gain if we can do something like that, you know, soon. That's huge. That's a pretty big gain here. But the point here is, you know, what if Raven coin, go back into my sheet here. So once Raven coin starts pumping, obviously hash rate is going to be pumping into it. And probably hash rate's going to be pumping into it faster than the coin is spiking. Usually we see like a 10 to 15% gain on a coin. We end up seeing like a 50% network hash rate increase on GPU coins, because it doesn't take much. All these GPU networks are very, very small. There's not much hardware on them. Raven coin is an exception. It's one of the largest in terms of hardware online, so it'll be a little slower. But something like Flux, you know, it'll move up 5% and it'll see like 200% hash rate gain, because there's only like 13,000 3080s worth of hash rate on it, where Raven coin's sitting at around 170, 200,000 plus 3080s worth of hash rate on. So, you know, size of networks matter. But the point here is we could hit an all-time high here, and the hash rate won't take long for coins to start coming out of Flux, coming out of Cubic, or, you know, hardware, and running on the Raven coin, because the price is spiking. Now that hash rate is coming out of these coins. You got to track them and see, where's the network hash rate dropping from? So in this case, if the coin has not seen a spike yet, like we don't know what it's going to be. It could be a totally different scenario. Maybe it's Flux that peaks first. Raven coin doesn't yet, so it'll just be reversed, whatever. You know, the point here is watch whatever coin is pumping. Hash rate's going to pump on it as well. Where is the hash rate coming from? And is that coin pumping as well? Obviously, if that coin is pumping as well, then hash rate's probably, you know, kind of maybe splitting between both of these coins, Flux and Raven coin, for an example. So where's it coming from now? Ergo, you know, maybe some no one's mining Octa.Space to GPUs. Anyway, you get the point. It's coming from other coins. So if the coin's not pumping yet, which means it's maybe coming in a different stage. There's usually, you know, 2 to 3 to possibly 4 stages of altcoin season, with stage 1 should hopefully happen this or next month, we hope. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen here. But so as say we have Raven coin pumping here. Coin hash rate is flying in, you know, out of Flux and some other coins, and these coins are not pumping. So this is this scenario. So what would be a better idea to do is not mine the coin that's pumping and start mining where the hash rate is coming from if the coin isn't pumping at the moment. So therefore, it could see a pump in the future. Therefore, yields are going to start picking up on these ones, while yields are severely dropping and profitability dropping across this, even though it's super high price. You're now collecting a large bag very fast because no one's mining this anymore. They're just following where all the, you know, the pumping coin is. So now you're picking up yields here. So wave 1 is over. This now Raven coin is now dead. And now all the hash rate will slowly start to fluctuate back to other coins again. And then wave 2 hits. Now remember, any coin that usually pumped in wave 1 won't pump this cycle. You're waiting another 4 years. So that means Raven coin, sure, it's probably could see some little spikes here and there and stuff like that, but it's not going to see a run again. It is done for this cycle. So no matter what happens, you will never be mining Raven coin, for at least for this or maybe the next year or two, until the full bear comes in and all the hash rate leaves it again. Then you're going to start mining again to build for the next cycle, most likely 2029. So now that we know that this coin is dead, see you later, not happening again, these ones are spreading out. Now we're going to see coins Now we have wave 2 coming in. So say Flux starts pumping in wave 2, we know Raven coin is dead, so we're not going to go back to that coin even if hash rate is dropping off it, because most likely there'll be a lot less hash rate in about 2-3 years time when the bottom of the bear hits and everyone really gives up on mining. And that's really when you stack your coins. So now we got to find other coins that hasn't pumped yet and where the hash rate is coming from. So now Flux is moving. We got to look for something else, say Chlor or something. Is now hasn't pumped yet and hash rate has fallen off it. So now we're going to start mining ourselves some Chlor while everyone starts flooding into Flux. And it's just a cycle like that for about 3 or 4 possible altcoins. Like, does it kind of make sense to you guys on realizing on how that all works? Because there's literally like, it's a lot of work. You really got to watch like everything and realize what's happening, network hash rates and things like that. And you got to capitalize when no one else is mining, because you're already going to have your bags. There's no more Ethereum. People say they're done with Ethereum. They had enough of Ethereum. You don't want to even hear about Ethereum anymore. But as much as you want to deny the effects and after effects of Ethereum, we are still dealing with GPU mining effects of Ethereum moving to POS. People wishing and hoping to the bitterness of their bones that something's going to pump and something's going to be the next Ethereum. And it's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen, especially in this cycle, because we're already missed the boat. We're way past anything where Ethereum was profitable. Right now, we should be in prime GPU mining profits. We should be making $2-3 a day after power on a 3070 or something, and we're negative. Like, it is rough times out there, and we don't have a cycle. So you're going to have the coins already built, and you're going to have to hodl for dear life, and you're going to have to sell. That's the other thing. If you don't sell your coins, you're just going to be waiting another 4 days, and coins don't pump for very freaking long. Let's just Ergo's a prime example where I think it's going to do really great this cycle because it seems to always do it. Look at 2017, $16.92, $18.73, and now it's only 75 cents. So I do expect some type of major run to happen sometime this year on Ergo. So right now, there's probably not many, it's probably not, I don't even know what the profitability is. It probably sucks, obviously, but what would your profitability be? Can we do that right now, actually? Let's go into here. Let's just go to GPUs. I'm still going to go with 3070s as being most popular. Now, I don't know. It's sounding like 5070s or 5060s are doing pretty good and gaining in popularity, but I have not tried them. So where can I go for calculation action? Let's go to Ergo. Go to Ergo here. Now, can we we can't calculate it here manually. So we're going to have to come into our duplications. We're going to go into calculator. I don't want that one. We're going to go into coins. We're going to go to Ergo. We're going to come into here. All right. So now I just want to point in. All right. So what are our numbers on Ergo? So we're doing about, hash rate, 158.3 mega hash. So we're going to go 158.3. Is that what it said? Double check. 158.36. Okay. Let's 36. Power consumption. Ergo is telling us, where is it? 120 watts. Reported. So it's probably like 130. I can't remember the numbers. That's it. We'll go with the numbers it's telling us. We'll just stay with it. So 138, calculate that. Oh, we can't set the price in this. That freaking sucks. All right, this is horrible. Absolutely horrible. We can't set the price. Actually, we can look at yield, so that works just as well. So right now we're making 20 cents before power, and we're negative 15 cents right now because it does cost us 35 cents to mine this coin. So look at that. It's cost us 35 cents. 0.453 Ergo is what it costs, and our revenue is only 0.26. So obviously you could just buy the coin for this amount of power, 35 cents worth of power, and you'll be getting a lot more Ergo. That's where it comes down to what's the cheapest way to get the coins. Obviously, in this case, it's looking like buying the coin is not mining. And now if you're a new miner looking into it, now you got to add hardware costs and everything on it, and it just makes a no-brainer. Buy the freaking coin instead. But now we're coming in 0.266 Ergo. Now we're going to times that by whatever the heck Ergo price did do some craziness here. So we'll ahead and I don't even care. $10. Let's go 10. No, let's go $11. You know, we'll just come in, look at $11 in this case, times $11. You know, that's $2.92 a day is what you would be freaking making right now with only 35 cents worth of power. You know, obviously your profit of like $2.40. Mining that right now, if it sees at least $11 again, I do think Ergo's going to do something because it always has, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed anywhere ever, but there's a pretty high chance that Ergo's going to do something. And I only bet this on 11. Obviously, everyone's like, it has to hit an all-time high or it's not an altcoin. So, no, it doesn't. As long as it pumps a bunch, $11 is a huge freaking pump from right now. Sure, it's not the all-time high. It's only halfway there, slightly over. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen and an altcoin season occurred. So, you know, if you're waiting for the top, you're most likely going to lose anyway. You got to sell when the volume is there, and that's usually happens in the 50 to 75% range of the high. Or once it hits the top, you're not going to be able to sell anyway because everybody's selling at that point. That's why it's the top. So, you know, a whole bunch of different factors come in, and you know whether you sell it now. Selling on the way up is obviously better because that way you don't at least miss the boat, and everyone else holding their bag when it's back down to only like 10 cents, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna suck at that point. But buying the coin at this stage, so right now we saw $2.92 a day is what we would kind of be making. Now let's just look at 35 cents at the current price. So if we went to the current price of Ergo now, current price is we're at 75 cents. So we got to go 0.35, divide that by 0.75, I guess. So that's 0.466. So 0.466 times that by $11, that's $5.13. Pretty much double of what you would get if you were not quite double, because that would have been about $6, slightly under $6. But we're at $5.13 a day right now, where we saw, you know, $2.92 or something was mining it right now. So now you can see the cheaper cost to get more coins now for the same amount, for the same cost. Actually, it's the same cost, but you get more coins at the same power price as you would be spending your power out of pocket. So you're getting almost double the profits buying Ergo right now than you were to mine it on a 3070 for the same cost in power, same prices and everything else. So that's kind of where it comes down to. What is just the cheapest way to acquire the coins? Is it mining, or is it, you know, buying the coin? And obviously, if you're in a negative, it just makes more sense to buy the coin. And if you are in a positive state there, it makes sense to pay the power bill and then hodl your coins as well. Now, obviously, you know, I'm in a boat where I don't really mine coins unless they're a decent amount profitable, because I do use crypto a lot to cover my power bills. And that way you're not really, and in that case, you're not really stacking up too many coins and your profits are a lot smaller. But, you know, sometimes there's times where you can cover that out of pocket. And when you do cover it out of pocket, that's just a cheaper way to maintain the coins and receive them when you're mining out of profits. That's how kind of making sense to you guys? It might just sounded like a rambling nothing. I probably sound like a rambling whatever. Retro Mike says he's poor with his next to free power. Oh man. What do we got here? Phantom should what? Make sense. Skipper says makes sense. How's Trash MR looking these days? Trash MR. XMR. I'm assuming you're referring to XMR, but profit wise, not too hot. Price wise, it's still continuing to climb. Now I don't know, like, there's been a lot of talk going on about a Bitcoin hack. You know, I did a video on it going over an article, but you think once that hack happened and he dumped and everything came through, it would be done, but Monero's continuing to climb. So was there actually a hack? There's other stuff coming to surface where people are saying it wasn't a hack. That was just an early rumor. And, you know, people are, Monero's just starting to climb. Now, usually we always see Monero pump to at least $400 plus. So here you can see $470 XMR in 2017 with my screen on the wrong one. Coming into this one, we could see 413. So again, over $400. And now we're coming up to, we're actually, was there another Bitcoin hack? Because look, we're pretty much at a high of where we were. Let's just come back in 7 days now. Oh no, we're not at a high. It's right here. Duh. Okay, so where was that? So that went to 338, and right now we're at 278. So, you know, we're not very far off of seeing XMR hit that 400 plus mark again. You guys think it's going to hit it? I think it'll hit it. Come on. It's XMR. It's got to do the 400 plus. Let's do this. If Zeph hits $40 again, I'm dumping. Add another zero onto that. I'm waiting for $400 Zeph, and we're going to the moon. It's not. But do you imagine? That would suck. That would suck. No idea. Try static difficulty. It just doesn't work. Use a different pool. Panda's S21 Pro wouldn't work right on it, but his other ASICs did. J-Ro. What are you talking about? Oh, you're referring, is it the Bitcoin Cash pool? Some are connecting, some are. Real friends host other friends at cost. What anyone know about the new CPU mineable coin? Adventure coin. I saw it in the miner updates. Adventure coin? Is that what it's called, or is it that other one, or is there another update? Let's just take a look here. Let's see if there's a new. I got 2 CPUs on Qubit because I'm trying something for a week. I want to see what the profitability actually is and how accurate hashrate.no is. So we'll see what happens when that comes in. But let's just go into this. Wild rig. CL cat. Is this that other CPU coin? The CL, or is that something else? The SRB miner released not too long ago. See, yeah, that is the same algorithm. So now we got the GPU version on Wild Rig for that coin already. Wonder how well they're doing though. I wonder how well they're doing. Let's see. CLC. CLC, that's the only one I see. But is that what it's called? Adventure coin or something? Or is it something else? I can't remember. We went through this last week and I totally forget, everything about what it was. Now I gotta find it again. Is it on my pool stats? CLC. And this is, no, that's not the one yet. So it wasn't in here. And I remember, what was it? Lucky Pool or Luck Pool? Lucky Pool or something is what it was. And then I clicked on it and I ended up getting a keylogger and all this stuff, according to Retro Mike. Just accepted an offer on the house. Lots to do. Crazy. It's adventure. It's on our plant. Okay. Oh, it's on our plant now also? That's the CLC one? Okay. Let's not go to that. Let's go back into, let's go to mining pool stats. Let's just go to RTM. Let's find our plant. All right, let's see here. Adventure coin. Adventure coin. Anyone get hacked from this yet, I wonder? So what do we got here? 530. Next last payout. Oh, hash rate just started. Oh, they just went live here recently by the looks of things. Interesting turn of events. Network hash rate is 2.82. So I'm not sure how big that is because I'm not sure what the hash rate on a CPU currently is. I envy you all US, Canada based guys. You're just talking advantage of dirt cheap electric rates, which we European cannot afford. Sucks. Yeah, that Europeans are really getting smashed with electrical prices. It is absolutely rough out there and it sucks. DJ Mine pays 23 cents. I wish the US electric was good. Yeah, like US, I mean, European guys are up to like 40 to 50 cents though. Like some spots there, it is bad, absolutely horrible. So in theory, DJ, you are over half, you're 50% cheaper than some people out there, which is insane. And, I think it's rough out there with like 11, 12 cent power. I having a rough time figuring out what the heck to mine. So yeah, it's crazy out there. Seems like anything over 30 terahash won't stay mining on his pool from my experience. Anything over 30, interesting. ADVC is the ticker. ADVC. Is that on here? ADVC? Oh, it must be now that our plant has it. No, it's not yet though. Adventure. That's something else. I don't know. Not too sure. I might check it out and see what it's doing and stuff though, but check out this. You guys been seeing the Leo network hash rate lately? So it's seen like a pretty explosion here. Now, interesting turn of events. What do you guys think is going on with a Leo right now? Now, I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of makes sense. Where did at? Oh, is it gone? No, it's right here. So Ampool doesn't have much hash rate, but it is well known that F2 pool is a Bitmain hashing ground. Now, it's confirmed that Ice River uses Whale Pool to test, and we know Gold Shell utilizes DX Pool, but no hash rate spikes are occurring. We're seeing a slight increase in hash rate, steadily happening on Whale Pool. So this could very well be early indications of Bitmain testing some miners here, and we can see the graph. Now, this is also misleading. This graph, looking at this graph, you would think this is like, almost 75% increase in hash, over 2.5 times more hash rate. That's not really the case. We can see we went from about 227, 190, 220, 240 to about, what is this? To about 420. So it's, it's slightly under halfway, but looking at the thing here, you would think it's over double X, so like 2.5 times or something, because you can see this arrow here is only like from not even to the tip to the other tip here, where this increase is pretty much my whole arrow here. So, it's not as big as it looks, but it's still a pretty big hash increase happening on the network, and it's happening at F2 pool. So, this could be Bitmain finally starting to test. We'll find out, I guess, in the next month or so, which is about on schedule as well for this to, be in place. As they were like 4 or 5 months ago, they were delayed for about 6 to 7 months. We only got a month or two left. So we could see an announcement possibly sometime by the end of this month, maybe next month here, for when these things are coming. And, we'll just have to wait and see. But now, is that, like, I don't know for sure if that's them. But, it's a good chance that it could be, because we're not seeing much happening on Whale Pool. Slight increase. Obviously, nothing really going on. People are shutting off their gold shell miners because they're turning into bricks now already. So that would make sense why hash rate is coming off a DX pool. But, yeah, interesting stuff here. This could be Bitmain in the testing works. Now, I don't know. Now, they probably just, maybe they didn't want to use AMP pool because that'd be blatantly obvious. But we've seen a hash rate drop here, but not the same. How much was this? Oh, that's only mega hashes. That's nothing. Okay, never mind. This is nothing. This is just a, 250 some mega hash happening here, where we've seen like a 200 plus giga hash jump. So this coming off is nothing compared to what that was. So it don't matter. But yeah, it's interesting. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to hide it through F2 pool for now, before they turn them on the AMP pool, because AMP pool would obviously be like, all right, that's Bitmain, kaboom, see you later, type of thing. But, we just don't know. We don't know for sure 100%, but, it's a pretty good idea that it's most likely Bitmain that's doing that right now. Leo is supposed to go ASIC in January, and it's May already. Yeah, it was ASIC in January. It's been ASIC for like 3-4 months now. Just the original miner was gold shell, and gold shell miners are broken. Like, they don't even mine it correctly. Like, they only 33 chains on a Leo is, like 33 mini algorithms, and it can only mine like 30 of them or 29. So all gold shell miners seem to go down at the exact same time for about 20 minutes or so, which is the time it takes to swap algorithms, about 20 minutes. So it kind of makes sense what's going on with gold shell, and they all just flatline when it hits, those couple algorithms in there. Too many coins, space is big. Yeah, there's a ton of coins out there now. Retro Mike, yeah, the S21 Pro and Plus won't mine on pools, only a username type of format. But the S21 Pro and Plus won't mine on pools that use wallets. Is that true? The S21 Pro can only use usernames format. It can't use just a straight wallet format. That's interesting. I wasn't aware about that. I never tried one of those. Hobbyist, have you had one of those S21 Pros? Welcome to the channel. What's going on? Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? The new gold shell 3K watt mine's the best. Inefficient though, but if you got cheap power, still like 30. Yeah, that thing is absolute trash garbage. The worst miner ever invented by gold shell. They come up with the stupidest things, and they don't even come up with them. All they do is stick the same stupid chips onto bigger hash boards to release the same stupid miners. So, that's my 2 cents on gold shell. They fail at everything they make, it seems. And they rush it to market. Like, it doesn't even mine correctly. It's just solid hash drops, solid. Because it isn't even mining all the chains. And they did the same thing on a lithium. Like, I don't know how they keep getting away with this and then trying to market themselves as being the best thing ever. Like, even with the lithium, as we know, a lithium has 16 chains or something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but when they released that one, they could only mine 1 chain out of them all. 1. So it was an early beta test model, which they didn't have, but they released it to market to be first so they could charge even more money for the first ASIC to rip everybody off. And it only mined one chain of a lithium. This thing should have been somehow illegal, but obviously there's no regulations and everything going on here. But they released a miner that can't fricking mine it. Like, what if you went to use the new GPU miner that was released from Regal or something, and then you were mining a coin, say you were mining Raven coin. As you know, it has 4 or 5 mini algorithms, but it could only mine one of them, one of the 5. And therefore, you're only getting 1/5 of the rewards. Now, that works a little different because DX Pool actually tweaked their pool for Gold Shell so that it was only mining that. But while it mined that, it would chain the difficulty on that single chain. It would start going extremely high. So kind of, now I don't really 100% understand how lithium works, but it's pretty cool, obviously. I think it's more advanced tech in theory, if you really piece it together, than Kaspa. But it's 16 mini chains, which kind of all being mined at the same time. And it's always switching. Now, when a block found is on one of the chains, the difficulty adjusts for that chain. It goes up a little bit. But then it swaps over to the next chain, which has a lower difficulty. And then it continues to kind of, mine at that and adjusts, through all these. Now, if you have all these ASICs early on, only mining on the single chain, and it keeps finding these blocks, it's going to keep, difficulty is going to be increase until the blocks obviously slow down to match that, and it's kind of slowing everything down in general. And then you're going to see a big hardware kind of, you're going to notice like an hour or two, like depending how fast everything switches and auto adjusts and things like that, you're going to see kind of a profit drop and just down to nothing. And then it's got to rebuild and back up and, back and forth and so on. So that's it was insane. It wouldn't mine it. And DX Pool tweaked so that the miner would work in there, and it wouldn't work on any other pools because all the other pools were mining a lithium correctly. Now it's all fixed and it's working on everything, but now they've stepped forward and they're doing the same type of thing kind of on a Leo, but it's not quite to the extent because now a Leo has the 33 different chains or algorithms in it, and it can only mine like one or it can't mine like 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember, and it does take 20 minutes before it switches each chain based on blocks found and stuff like that. So it does look like every time it goes down, it's down for about 20 minutes and then it's back up. And it happens on the same time with every single gold shell miner, because I do have the mini byte piece of crap here and the AE box piece of crap back there. And when I have them on, my hash rate drops to absolute 0 when they go down at the exact same time, both of them. So that means that big expensive 3,000 watt miner is the same, and so on. And if you look at that big miner, actually, where's mining now? We come into here and we see the big gold shell. Looks like the AE Lite at 12 cent power is now beating it in profitability because it's so much more efficient. But, as you go up in power price, that miner looks worse and worse. As you go up in network hash rate, the AE Max gets worse and worse because difficulty gets higher. And the profits on this thing is going to drop the fastest out of all the miners because the efficiency just sucks. So now let's go to 20 cent power. And we can see we're down to, is that 20 cent? Yeah, 20 cent. We're down to $21 here versus what it was at 11, or is that 12, 11, 12, 28. So let's go 12. That's what I'm at, I think. So we got $27 a day, $29 a day. Then we go to 20 cent power. And now we're already down. We're 28 to 21. The gap is opening up quite a bit between profitabilities between an efficient miner versus a non-efficient miner. And it's just going to continue to get worse, especially as the network difficulty begins to kind of climb. Now, obviously, if you have 1 cent power, this might be okay. Let's just jump this into say a 5 cent power scenario here. And now we can see this one is the more profitable miner because you have very, very cheap miner. And then this is making, look a little bit better in that case because you don't have much of a power bill. But it's crazy as the network difficulty starts to increase, which over the next month, if that is Bitmain testing right now, all these miners anyway are next to being garbage right now. Come back into 12 for a sec. I was like, is that Bitcoin miner super profitable right now? But then I was only at 5 cent power, so I was like, okay, crap, never mind. They still have that one in here. What are miners looking like right now anyway? Besides a Leo, what do we got out here? The DG2, we got $13. That's pretty decent actually right there. DG2, that's not too shabby. 20 gigahash, 3400 watts. That's actually a pretty nice miner. We got the D1 Hydro. Whoa, 7600 watts. That's pretty insane. This is not yet released yet. 21. Oh yeah, this still. Hobbyist, when are you getting some of these bad boys right here? They're only 11,000 watts, huh? 3-phase power. You got that? 860 terahash. That is insane. Absolutely insane. L9, 17 gigahash. Where's the 16 gigahash? Right here. This is the one I got. How much? What's it telling us we should be getting? $18 a day. Nice hash. Nice hash is making more interesting. Is there a new script coin out people are renting for? LTC, whatever. But so $17 a day. What is that? I wonder. Now, what are we actually getting? Because that's the profitability on that. I always want to check out something. Okay. Dashboard. Oh, I gotta log in. Hold on. I'm trying to log into this. What crap? What's my password? Oh, now it says I gotta wait 20 seconds because I put in the wrong password. Now I gotta pick some stairs here. Come on, do this. Oh, now I gotta pick bicycles. There's no bicycles. Those are motorbikes. What the heck? Now I'm gonna fail again. Mountains or hills. Hold on, guys. I've got to go through all this verification stuff, which I think a bot can get through it easier than I can. Now I got to pick buses. Like, come on. Oh, my gosh. Log in. And it was the wrong... You know, I give up. I give up. Maybe I got it on my phone. I might still have it on my phone. I got to check that. I just want to see what mine's actually getting versus what that is telling me. Because I'm curious. I am curious. Let's see if I got the API on my phone. Where is it? Engage. Private data. Okay, yeah, it's that. Where's payments? So 106 Doge is what I got for the past 24. So what's the price of Doge right now? 106 Doge. Let's go to Dogecoin. Damn, we're dropping. We're dropping bad. Even the Doge is gone. So 106 times 0.1756. 1861. 1861. So a little more. I'm getting a little more. Almost. I even more than what it says on Nice Hash. And that's what the big dip that just happened. So, you know, I'm getting a little more than what it's saying on Nice Hash utilizing Power Pool right now. So that's not too bad. I got 106 Doge at current price. Yeah, $18.61. So we're making a little bit more. You know, add your power costs onto that and stuff. But we're getting a little more before power cost than what Nice Hash is getting at mining now right now. So that's pretty sweet. Pretty nice. Looking good. I need to build a power plant on a hydro dam. Get those green incentives. Oh, that'd be nice. Got to build your own power plant first. Oh, man, that's crazy. AI person. Oh, what is that? Personally, I'm done wasting money on home ASICs. Yeah, you know, that's an up in the air one. It's really rough. You know, looking at how everything's been playing out in altcoins, I'm really considering, you know, I don't know if I want to. I'm considering, though, of just getting, like, not mining anything else. Just, well, CPUs and GPUs and stuff like that, if anything happens, yeah, I'll still mine that. But when it comes to the ASIC side of things, I might just grab a couple, you know, nice efficient Bitcoin miners and send them to hosting, you know, fire them over to terahashing or, you know, metered mining there, any of the two there, and then just run them there for cheaper power. Because it seems like Bitcoin's the only coin that seems to be making anything. Like it used to be, like it was crazy. It used to be mining Bitcoin was a bad idea as a home miner, but now that we're getting, more people are opening up hosting platforms and, getting decent power rates. Obviously mining Bitcoin at my house would still be a bad idea versus because it costs so much power and stuff. But, using hosting platforms to expand your mining farms is obviously a better option. I think that's probably something I'm looking forward to doing moving forward, but I don't 100% know yet. So, I'm debating on grabbing Bitcoin miners and sending them to hosting and just see what happens. Run them, see how long they last until they blow up. It's going to run into some issues. We know, especially if hash boards start to fail and things like that, then I'm curious on how the repair aspect will go once your miner is actually away at hosting. But I think it'll still be pretty good because both of those platforms there that do hosting, they have good customer support, and I think they'll get things together and fix things for you. Obviously, you got to buy the hash boards and stuff, but you know what I mean. Hobbyist, when you talk, not for plant, but existing. Kadena has got me coin shy. Don't like these new ASIC coins. Yeah, Kadena was the issue. Now, imagine Kadena if it did a comeback. That'd be insane. And in theory, it could. KDA could definitely make, like, I haven't been following. I know a lot of talk about the devs rugged the coin and all sorts of stuff. I don't know what happened. I never follow Kadena. I don't follow really any coins on, like, what they do and stuff. I just follow, like, are they profitable or not? And I don't really look too much past that point. But, this is just a typical alt scene. If you look at this from any other standard coin, it was a dead nothing coin, 45 cents a coin. And then November of 2021, we could see when Bitcoin did its run, it went up to $21 freaking. And then obviously it died again. So in theory, we're at 68 cents, which is higher than when it began its run. So, we're doing better right now in Kadena than it was through all this. And then look what happened. So, is there a chance that this could happen again? I have no freaking idea because I don't know what happened on chain or if there's a rug pull or not. So, has anyone confirmed? Did they rug or something? Because, if not, or if we don't in factually 100% know what happened, there is a chance that, this could just come in out of nowhere. And that's where, waiting for your coins to erupt out of nowhere comes in. And, I just finished saying how Ergo, I think, is going to do something again because it usually does, but it follows the same thing. It spiked, then it's literally dead, like nothing. Look at all this. 14-cent Ergo coming off a freaking $16 high. Obviously, you're down like 96, 97% or something insane at this point, and everyone's calling it dead, never going to happen. And then look at out of nowhere, here we go again. Boom. Right at another peak here, 1873. And now we're in the same stage again where it is dead. Ergo's not going to do anything. It's going to, altcoin season's not coming. Anything you hear of and negatively, that's what's being said right now because we're at this phase here again. So end of the year, are we going to see, the rocket ships just going to the moon like crazy? Wow, I got too excited there. Sorry about that. But anyway, it's going to happen. I really think it's going to happen. And it happens when you least expect it. You'll wake up one morning and be like, holy crap, we're up 100%. Next day, holy crap, we're up 40. Open up again. Next day, we're up 20% again. We're going to see solid gains for a couple weeks straight. And then guess what? Then you just fall off a cliff and you're done. So that's what I was saying earlier. You want to sell. You want to sell on the way up, somewhere in here. Don't time the high because you're not going to sell here. There's no volume left going up at the peak. It's going down at that point. So you want to sell when all the volume is. And then all the super crazy buy FOMO orders will eat up your sell orders, blowing through this to the top. And then, if you get into here and then 1 month later it's down to here, I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy selling at this point here. It's better than selling, not at all and be stuck with your bag for another 4 years. So just be ready, wait for the volume spikes, give it a few days after the volume spikes, and then start dumping things is pretty much in a nutshell what we got to be ready for. These coins are going to explode, and it's going to explode when you least expect it. And I know everyone's like, all you guys out there, you've been in the live chat, mining's dead, coins are dead, not happening. When's the run? It's coming. You just got to be ready. And if you miss it, it's going to happen fast, and it's going to be very easy to miss. Just like I think there's a good chance we missed Dogecoin already. As sad as that is to say, I think we possibly missed it. Because it's not about hitting all-time high. Sure, it's great to hit a new all-time high, but it's more about going, you know, quadruple of what we're currently at right now. But like, look at Doge. Obviously, here's less than a cent Doge. It went up to frickin' absolute all-time high of 56, almost 57 cents. But look what we had here. This was insane. Look at this run, and it lasted from what? 10-13, 10-6, 10-13. to 12. That was a 2-month. This is a 2-month solid freaking pump for Dogecoin. And we missed it. Guys, I think we missed it. I know I missed it because I still got my freaking coins. This sucks. And I'm going to be waiting another 4 years. You know, I've been saying, like, things happen. It doesn't happen to happen. Like, things will happen before 2025. End of 2024, we're going to see some peaks happen as well. And there's always a coin that haunts me. I can never, I don't know the name. I always forget it, but it haunts me. But I remember in 2021 when we were looking kind of things like this, of things spiking and stuff. But yeah, 4 years ago, there was a coin that hit its all-time high in 2020, the end of 2020. So some coins can peak the end of the beginning year, and I think that may have happened with Dogecoin. I'm praying for a second run that this wasn't the case, but everything tells me that this probably not going to happen because we've seen the run. You know, I just finished saying, you see your coin pumping for a couple weeks to a month, get ready to sell. And this was a solid 2-month freaking peak, which I have the wrong thing on there. Now you can see we have a solid 2-month freaking spike here on Dogecoin, and now look where we are. Like, you know, it didn't go to the all-time high, but who cares? Would you be happy selling at freaking 42 cents? I know I would have, but L9 would have ROI'd. If I would have been able to, if I would have sold at this, like I only had the L9 like for a month or two at this point, it would have ROI'd in just a couple months because it was making 250 to 300 plus Doge per day early on before the large pool smacked out junk coin and like that. And there was hardly any hash rate on them. They were making $20 to $30 a day alone, those coins. Now they're only making like $1, not even. They're making like 2 cents because the large pools just scooped up those small coins, and now there's no profit anymore. There's zero. So we're making a mad amount of Doge at this time. If you were mining on the proper pools, paying attention to what was going on in the network, you're making mad Doge. And then we missed the boat. 2-month ROI on a $12,000 L9 was a thing at this point, but now sadly we missed the boat. It's not even 50 at the current price. It's not even 50% ROI, and it's been like 5 months or something. How long have I had it now? I had a long time. So it went from being ROI to not ROI, not even halfway ROI'd anymore. So it's insane. So did we miss the boat? You know, I think we did, but I'm really hoping we didn't. There's always hope, huh? Always hope. To all the whens watching, when? I don't know when. Hopefully this month we'll see something happen. Hopefully. I'm hoping we'll start to see a rocket ship take off this month. It's going to be rough, but, you know, in theory it should happen. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. Insane times are ahead. Nothing haunts me more than electronium. What is electronium? Is that still a thing? Electronium. No, that's not here. What is electronium? Fill us in. Why are you haunted by it? Scroll to the right. I can't see any. Oh, you couldn't see. See, I always do this and I forget to hit my buttons, and now we're back to the older buttons. When Flux 2K? Never. I don't know. We'll be lucky if we see Flux to $2 to $4. You know, $4 would ultimately be a new all-time high, but I don't know. You know, that'd be amazing coming in from right now. What is Flux at? Like 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents? I don't even know what Flux is at right now. Flux has got 28 cents right now. Its previous all-time high was 277. So, you know, $3 Flux would be awesome. I'm happy with $2. $2 Flux would be okay with me, I think. Would you guys be happy at $2 Flux? Or are you going to be like, it's going higher? Because remember, when these coins pump, there we go, hitting not the right button again. When these coins pump, You know, you're going to see it all over the place. It's going higher. It's going higher. Don't sell yet. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Hodl for life. Hodl till you're broke again is what's going to happen if you keep hodling, literally. But be ready. Just set a price. You know, for me, $2, I'm good with $2 flux. I don't have much flux. I only have a couple thousand flux. But $2 flux would be a decent day. I'm happy with $2 flux. You know, maybe it ends up going to $4. Damn, I could have got doubled it out. But guess what? You know what? It could be back down to 20 cents again 2 months later and hodl there for another 4 years. So, you know, $2 flux is okay when it's back down to 20 cents, you know, a month later. I'm okay with that. Sure, I didn't hit the peak. Obviously, you can't sell at the peak, but, you know, just set a price, get ready, and just execute. You don't want to just be sitting there left. CoinMarketCap. Look at all time. Oh, okay, here we go. Electronium. Okay, I don't know if I want to click this. All right, clicking the button. What? 14 cent. What year is this? 2018, and never again. A non-perform. So here we went to what? It went to 3 cents. Under a cent to 3 cents. Not too shabby. And then now we are. You know, maybe we'll see 2 cents. Maybe it'll go back to at least 2 cents. So be prepared for like 1 or 2 cents. But yeah, is this when it first got listed, or is this when CoinMarketCap first just implemented it? But yeah, so this is one of those opened up super high and then never happened again. It's kind of rough. ETN. So what ended up, volume? What's the volume like? It's not bad volume happening on it still. Not massive volume, but, you know, not bad volume compared to some coins. Red Panda Money. Red Panda Money. That's his new name, guys. I just said that. Red Panda Money in the house. Red Panda Mining is saying Flux is dead. What do you guys say about this? Do you guys agree? Is Flux dead or is Flux not dead? $2 Flux, I'm good. Remember, I'm good with $2 Flux. Even though I only have like 2,000 Flux, I'm good with $2 Flux. Red Panda Money. Case Rocker, what do we got here? Why no stream this morning? He's probably getting ready to stream right now, aren't you? Are you getting ready to stream right now? Are you having a later stream? I got to send people to Panda's stream? Panda needs more subscribers, guys. So if he's streaming, you know, you guys got to go check him out. Because I hear he's pretty good at YouTube. You know, he makes some mining content. If you're unaware about Red Panda Mining, he's a crypto miner and he mines cryptocurrencies and he's rich. As if everybody knows Panda. Like, what's going on here? Sadly, it doubled and I sold it. What? Sold what? What doubled? Something doubled, so that's good, right? I remember buying 10K Flex Zell at the time for $600. 10K for $600? So what was that right now? So I'm just going to divide that. 10,000 divided by, what was the current price of Flux? 28 cents. Divided by 0.28. So 35,714. That's not bad. 35. So how much Flux do you have right now? Okay, don't tell us that. Someone will try to hack you. I don't mind. Panda doesn't mind anymore. He's retired. When is RPM driving over for CPUs? I don't know. Maybe in 2 weeks. There he says, maybe in 2 weeks. See, every week he says maybe in 2 weeks. So it's already been like almost 2 weeks over the initial 2 weeks. Does that make sense? RPM equals really poor mining. Oh, man. He definitely has cheap power mining. Flux is the most vibrant crypto there is. Flux would have taken S place if miners didn't try to go with Raven and other kapow poop coins. How would Flux... I'm interested. Now, Flux couldn't support the miners. That's why miners couldn't go to them. Like, if you look at the network hash rate of Flux right now, is one of the smallest proof of work networks there is. Now, not infrastructure where they're trying to do a bunch of things, but on the proof of work side of Flux, it's only got like 12,000, 13,000 GPUs on it, where something like Ravencoin is sitting at 190 to 200,000 plus RTX 3080s worth of hash rate. So it won't take very many, like half of Ravencoin's network, if it was to move to Flux and Flux went to $2, you'd still be in the negatives right now in terms of hash rate, because the network is so small, the emissions is so small, it can't support those type of miners. Flux really needs to be like, in order to be equivalent to ETH, like what was it, like $500, $1,000 Flux or something like that is what it had to be to be an ETH equivalent. So it's insane. It is a very, very small proof of work network right now, because it just doesn't pay miners enough to secure the chain. Watch for CRO. Bet you the next. That'd be nice. Good old CRO. But sadly, that's a what's that? Crypto.com coin. That's not a proof of work coin or anything. But I do hope that thing soars, because if you use their card, you know, in the past, they're like when I bought the 4070 and stuff, I used that, and I got a pretty decent chunk of CRO from using that, which I'm waiting for a CRO to hit like $1 or something, because that'd be pretty nice. RPM poor mining. Thank you for the US $2. Go for the moon. Oh man, I still haven't ROI'd the GPUs I bought in November of 2021. Oh man, oh yeah, Ethma POS like just before that, didn't it? When did it go POS? Was it 20? No, it was like at peak bull time, didn't it? I can't remember. If all the miners moved to Flux, the coin would go to $3.33 again, and higher in no time. People mined ETH for years at a loss. Remember MBTC? Well, maybe, but like, it's hard to say though, because like it'd be negative. Like you'd be blatantly getting zero profit. Like if many miners went to Flux, like it couldn't support. There was no profits. The only reason GPU mining exploded was because of Ethereum was paying the miners so much. It had nothing to do, obviously, and when it started going up in price, obviously everyone was talking about mining it and profit. So, you know, you can't point Flux and Ethereum the same way. I don't think it would have helped Flux's price at all if all the miners moved over to it or whatever, because, you know, Ethereum started going up, the profits were there, and it was just a mass flood of, and you got to remember, Ethereum, yes, a lot of miners were talking about it. It was given a PR, but also at the time of Ethereum going up, it was the first time, I think it was first, obviously, in DeFi and, you know, ERC20 tokens and all this stuff started getting built on Ethereum. And that obviously caused the increase in that. And then because all this stuff was happening, you were getting major high block reward fees on top of mining Ethereum, increasing in price. It was just an explosion all happening at the same time. You remember, like some ETH blocks were worth like what, 50 ETH, 60 ETH, 100 ETH. Like some of them were insane. It was an absolute mind-blowing time. So no, Flux would not have done anything near what Ethereum did, because everything was happening on Ethereum at the time. So I don't think if miners went to Ethereum and talked about it or whatever, or went to Flux, I don't think it would have really done anything. Mine CRO on XM rig. Well, yeah, unmineable. You can get paid in it for sure, or swap it on your own and all sorts of stuff. But do the daily login quest for diamonds and redeem them for CRO. Yeah, I don't do that. I should do that. Do you get a decent amount? Maybe I should do that, because yeah, CRO it could, like, I don't like these coins because they're not proof of work, but you know, it's something that I've seen. It tends to do well. Let's put it that way. ETH was overpaying miners, and they were willing to spend money on the ETH ecosystem. Flux would have to overpay by a crazy amount before people would be willing to spend on Flux. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Retro Mike summed it up in a nutshell better than I did. So read that. We need a coin with millions of dollars in daily emissions. Yeah, we do, and we don't have any. That's the thing. There's no coins anywhere near Ethereum levels at all. Every coin that's proof of work right now on GPUs, all of them added up is still not even 20% of what Ethereum was, and Ethereum in a rough time. So like, it's crazy. It is crazy happening right now. I might be buying 200 178 Oh, Panda, you're crazy. You buying all Swifts? You getting a big deal from Swift? Red Panda Mine, I'm keeping my HBM cards. We need camera to that. I think they also have CRO. Yeah, CRO is on a mineable, I'm pretty sure. What else do we, has the stream been lagging or not? Because I think I kind of got my internet fixed, but I'm not sure. I haven't noticed any yellow bars or anything. No, someone else. Who is Swift? I don't know. Taylor Swift, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Are you a Swiftie? Stream today was good. Don't jinx it. Yeah, don't jinx it. I want some HBM3. I want some HBM4. You know, it might not be a thing yet, but I want them. Flux died after the recent halving. Sad their halvings are every 2.5 years. Yeah, like all these coins, they try to have the crap out of their coins. They think it's the best thing. And because we're comparing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin does this. Everyone's always trying to compare to Bitcoin. They think it's a good idea. You know, maybe like, yeah, sure, supply, demand, deflation, blah, 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 blah. But literally all these halvings events and emission schedules are destroying their chains. Like, I'm curious. There's some coins they're going to start hitting their emission schedule here soon in the next couple of years. And I'm curious how they're going to survive, because I guarantee that majority of these coins are not going to live off transaction fees alone. They're either going to move to a proof of stake platform, or they're going to be a very unsecure networks out there that are very acceptable to 51% attacks. So it's going to be interesting when this happens. Like, XMR obviously has been doing well, but it's community driven. It has tail emissions, so like even XMR right now would not be able to survive off obviously just transaction fees alone. But they do at least have the tail emissions of still having 0.6 XMR in a block, so that's definitely helping things out in that aspect. So it's continuing to increase the supply ever so slightly. But we do have coins like, what was it? Dogecoin, for an example. It no longer halves. It's going to be 10,000. Is it 10,000 or 5,000? I can't even remember. I think it's 10,000. But it have that first from way back when, but now it's at, like, in theory, you could just call it its tail emissions, I guess. But it's like 10,000 Doge now, and it's never going to have again. And Doge continues to do well all the time. But everyone always tries to compare Bitcoin, and, every 4 years that does this, and the price explodes, and, deflation, same key terms all to deal with Bitcoin. And I think it's going to destroy a lot of these chains. Kaspa definitely being one of them. It is dropping, the hash rate is going to start falling. Like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, where is Kaspa right now? I don't even want to. No, I don't want to look at that. I want to look at the price here. Kaspa. Let's go to Kaspa here. I also want to go to mining now, and I just want to find like a Kaspa machine. Let's see here. I just want to look at Kaspa only. Where's Kaspa? Great. It doesn't even make the list. Is it in there? KDA. Oh, there it is. So what do we got here? So look at the new KS7. Like 40 terahash miner is only at $9.39 a day. Like, that is insane. But like going back to like a KS5L, for example, like that's all I got right now mining Kaspa at hosting, losing money on it like crazy. It's losing $4. I gotta shut this thing off. Like, seriously, what is it? Oh my gosh. So anyway, this sucks. So now you got to think about the timeline of Kaspa and how this works. So let's just go to all, and let's go 1 year at a time. We don't really have much data here, obviously. So anyway, let's just go through here. So right now, to maintain the current profits, which is zero, no profits right now because we're all negative on anything, especially on our home power prices. But think about it. Kaspa halving, yeah, sure, it's a small amount every single month, not allegedly supposed to be noticeable, but it has a full halving every 1 year. So from right now, May, it doesn't matter what month you look at it. So May right now to May next year, it's a full halving. You can go June to June if you want. It doesn't matter. Pick a month. It's a full halving from now. It's always happened. Every 1 year, it's a full halving. So in theory, for Kaspa to maintain the exact same profitability as right now, that's assuming the price remains as, we got to talk about the price though, actually, but with no extra hash rate coming online, just from emissions alone, Kaspa price has to double every single year to maintain current profits. Obviously, we have not seen Kaspa really do anything for a while. And, you know, start picturing bear runs. Like what happens in 2 years from now? In theory, if you double it from now till next May, that's, you know, that's 18 cents to have the same profits as now. And then you double it again, which essentially is a 4x from right now. Now you go 18 cents in 2 years. Now you got to go to 18 cents times that by 2. You got to have 36-cent Kaspa in 2 years time right now to maintain the same amount of profits as right now. That's rough just through emissions alone. That's not counting on possible any extra hash rate coming online from more Bitmain miners and so on. And as we see more and more bigger miners and people really giving up on mining these, we're going to see a higher centralization happen on Kaspa, because now we have, I'm turning off, Panda's turning off, all you guys in the live chat turning off your AL boxes, but we have Marathon Mining or someone buying the new Bitmain ones. They're really the only ones mining. So yeah, maybe we're going to see increase in network hash rates online on Kaspa, and people are going to be like, this is so awesome, but we're going to see a lot less entities mining Kaspa. So now we might see Mara and maybe one other company mining Kaspa and nobody else. How is that better for Kaspa? That is 100% turning centralized and no decentralization there at all. Because yeah, maybe we're seeing the same hash rate as now, or even more, because maybe an 80 terahash miner is coming, but Marathon bought them all and no one else is mining. Therefore, we have one entity. It's pretty much this is turning into a Dragon Ball situation with Radiant is kind of what's happening with Kaspa, a slow death into centralization. So yeah, we need a doubling in that, because the next bear market, I highly doubt we're going to be sitting at 30, 40 cent Kaspa, and then all of a sudden, you know, and the emissions down, we're going to be probably sitting back into, you know, we could be down to 5 cent Kaspa. You know, people are like, remember a lot of these coins drop, they drop about 95 to 98% of their prices. So if Kaspa goes to something like $3, in the peak this cycle, which would be awesome, it could easily drop back down to 15 cents again in the bear, because that's about 95 to 98%. So Kaspa could it's going to be insane. There's not going to be really anybody left mining Kaspa due to the emissions. And Kaspa, they also have that's the other thing. The what is it? The 100 blocks per second. That's not really going to do anything for Kaspa. It's not a magic speed up to the chain. It's not going to be going 100 times faster. It's still based on 1 second. So it's still 1 second per confirmation. It's still, you know, exchanges are actually picking up confirmation time. It used to be 16 to 1800. Now it looks like 2000, which is 33 minutes to send Kaspa to an exchange. Think about it. ETC seems to take forever. Some exchanges have ETC down to only 1 hour now. You know, that's not, you know, it's not even twice as fast as sending ETC at this point to an exchange utilizing Kaspa, because 33 minutes versus ETC's 1 hour. Like, it's not super groundbreaking, because a lot of exchanges are hindering this as well. But, you know, the confirmations are going to remain the same. It's still 1 second confirmation times, even though 10 blocks happening. So what's happening in there, in that 10 blocks per second, is obviously everything is divided by 10, and you can fit a whole bunch more room within that 1 second. That's all that's going on. And what that will do is utilize and keeping fees lower. So say, as we saw, we were seeing a whole bunch of super high block rewards when KRC20's first released. The network got congested. Obviously people aren't using it anymore, so it sucks, but you know that they're trying to up it that. But that's all the 10 blocks plus, even if they go to 100, 1,000, whatever, because they plan on going even faster in the future. But all that does is keep transaction fees down. So now not only are miners getting hindered on the price sucks, it's getting centralized, the halving is happening every year. Now we're not even getting high block reward fees on busy network days, because the in speed of the faster speed of the blocks keeps those fees down. So there's like zero incentive for a miner. The only thing that'll help is if Kaspa keeps pumping to an unknown, insane level. And I really don't see that happening anytime soon. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the whole Kaspa situation. Do you agree or disagree? And I don't even know why I went into it, but yeah, insane. Mixed brands, 3X, EVGA, 2FSE. What do you guys talk about? Snarks has a whole bunch of stuff. Panda wants to buy them. Is that what I'm seeing here? Probably. Snarks, you could probably eBay them for a lot more. I am at Kaspa Maxi, but it industry doesn't start using the network, we are cooked. Yeah, I think Frozen Crypto, I think Kaspa is really on a do or die scenario. With the super fast emissions, if Kaspa doesn't really get accepted, it's going to lose all its security, and it's going to lose it fast. It's going to become very centralized. It really needs to do something like this cycle, or it's done for. Because we're almost at the tail end of the emissions. Like it goes to 2036 or 2035 in emissions, but like your Kaspa is going to be that you're earning is like under 5 Kaspa, like insane nothing. So they're really in a rough time here. Kaspa has to make it. Nobody cares. Kaspa has to make it. Hello. 13 seconds to send ETC. Coinbase confirmations are high. We are still be attacked. Oh, man. Poor ETC. No, I hope when was ETC's times frame? Let's take a look at that. ETC, where are you? Oh. 118 is what it did last time. And that was in what month? Oh, crap. That's in, oh, man. That's June. Is that June? January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, June. 5th month is June. So, eek, we're coming up to when ETC should do something based on last cycle. Again, will it be the same? I doubt it, but wow, ETC, hurry up. We need some spiking happening like ASAP. And remember, how long did it last? So it pumped from May. So right now, like another coin, May to June. So 1 month. And then June's peak to where's like just crash. Wow. Look at that. It pumped for a month straight, and then it crashed in like, what is that? 15 days. So it took a month to spike and a 15-day down to nothing, never see you again crash. So be ready, because it's going to be, before you know it, it's gone. If you miss, that week in there, it's over. Hit $175 on Coinbase. Now I wonder, did it actually? Because, that's the one thing I really get with crypto.com. It's annoying. Like sometimes they show their prices higher, but then when you go to sell your coins, they nail you with so many fees. It's like you sold at like $20 less. Like, well, depending on the coin, but like you get nailed so hard, and then you don't get anywhere near of what you should have got. So is Coinbase the same on some of those? Like, assuming that they're showing you a higher price, I'm assuming that they're probably doing the same thing, and they're just nailing you with fees and stuff, and you get ripped off more. All the cool kids mine at a loss. Plus 4 years buying coins in the market. Yeah, you got to remember that too. Yeah, so many coins, so many more to sell. I'm mining Kaspa with 123 terahash. I could use a pump to pay my electric. I bet you could, Frozen Crypto. I bet you could. Everyone could use a nice pump right about now. Coinbase does the same thing. Okay, that sucks. Bitmain DAO on ETC. They are only ones working on ETC. You guys unalived ETC. Good job. Unalived. Mining 5 years straight now, at a loss, like a boss. Hey, that's a rhyme. We're gonna think of a song about that. At a loss, like a boss. That's all I got so far. Anyway, guys, we've been here for a while. So I do appreciate all you guys coming up to this live stream. We'll be back tomorrow for the AMA. I don't know if Panda's live streaming or not today. I imagine he might be, but everyone keep a lookout for that. Panda might be going live soon. But I will see you guys all in the next one.
Rabid out. Red Panda mining. Red Panda money.